I welcome all of you to session number 11. I hope I am properly audible and visible to all of you. Please let me know in the chat window. Yes, wonderful, wonderful. So basically agenda for today is in this session time of supply. Okay, in this part of the session, and then also of course we will go to registration and then composition levi in session number 12. So today we will cover session 11 and session 12 and cover these three topics. Is it clear to all of you? Yes, wonderful. So let's start with time of supply. How many sections cover time of supply? 3 sections are there which cover time of supply. Which are those 3 sections? 12, 13 and 14. Okay, those are the 3 sections, 12, 13 and 14. Let us first deal with section 12 and 13. So as you can see here, 12 and 13, friends, has 6 subsections. How many subsections? It has 6 subsections. 1 is introduction, 2 is time of supply in case of forward charge mechanism, 3 is reverse charge mechanism, 4 is vouchers, 5 residuary, and 6 when additional consideration is received by way of interest, late fees, penalties, etc. that is covered in subsection 6. Is it clear to all of you? Now we will keep 2 and 3 for further discussion, because 2 and 3 will be having different provisions as far as section 12 is concerned and 13 is concerned, but there are common provisions in subsection 4, 5 and 6. So shall we cover first 4, 5 and 6? Yes, let's cover 4, 5 and 6. Subsection 4 is vouchers. What is said in vouchers is that the vouchers, the supply could be known at the time when the vouchers are issued. So if the supply is known at the time when vouchers are issued, then the time of supply is date of issue of voucher. Means what? It is definite that against what that voucher is going to be redeemed. Okay, so example, it's purchased from a shop of selling footwear and it is going to be redeemed against shoes. So can I say that supply is known at the time of issue of voucher? Absolutely, it is supply is known at the time of issue of voucher. In that case, time of supply is date of issue of voucher. Okay, but if supply is not known at the time of issue of voucher, then time of supply is date of redemption of voucher. Agreed all of you? Yes. So absolutely same thing happens in case of services. So if it is voucher in case of services, it's going to be which section subsection? It's going to be section 13 subsection 4. Yes. And if it is, yes, if it is goods, vouchers for goods, then it is going to be section 12 subsection 4. Yes, wonderful. It's agreed by all of you. At least if a few of you switch on your videos, it will be fantastic. Then I'll get more interest, more understanding of the pace at which I should tell you the things. So it will be my sincere request. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, friends, then let's go ahead. Subsection 5 is residuary. You can go through that. Subsection 6 is very simple. When I talk about customer, that is my recipient of supply, paying me interest, late fees, penalties, time of supply is date of receiving such payment. Okay, date of receiving such payment. Okay, that is your subsection 6. If that happens for service, it is 13.6. If it happens for goods, it is 12.6. So what we will do now is go to examples of 4, 5 and 6. So it will help us to better connect with the issue. Check. Let's go to examples. For example, question number 5 on page 50. K receives vouchers for rupees 10,000 on 11/11/2020 from Raymond's Limited for woolen suit. So what does it indicate when I am saying that it is received for woolen suit? It means that supply is identifiable at the time of issue of voucher. So what will be the time of supply? Time of supply will be date of issue of voucher. So that will be 11/11/2020. Agreed? Yes. So it is so simple. Could be asked to you for 1 to 2 marks. Then K purchases gift voucher for 10,000 on 11/11/2020 from trader Chroma, which deals in variety of products. The aforesaid voucher is valid for 3 months. It is gifted to Z, who redeems the same on 12/12/2020 against purchase of headphones of JBL. So what's the time of supply in this case? It is 12/12/2020. Why so? Because friends, here supply was not identifiable at the time of issue of vouchers. When voucher was issued, it was not known that against this voucher what will be sold by the supplier. So that particular thing came to be known only at the time of redemption of voucher. So that date of redemption of voucher is 12/12/2020. Agreed, all of you? Yes, very good. So that 12/12/2020 becomes time of supply, and the rate of GST applicable to headphones will apply to the value of the voucher. Okay, if similar things happen for services, then it is section 13 subsection 4. Means I give hotel vouchers to Sonal, and so it can be redeemed only against food. So supply is identifiable when I purchase those vouchers from hotel. So time of supply for that hotel will be date of issue of vouchers. But to my spouse I give vouchers of a spa plus salon plus makeup services. So basically when I purchase voucher from that entity, they don't know that it will be redeemed against what. So time of supply will be the actual date of redemption of vouchers. Agreed? So that's how your 13.4 and 12.4 will be operational. Then see 7th question to understand subsection 6. S supplies goods to K for 2 lakh. If I understand the basics, S supplies goods to K for 2 lakhs on 1/10/2020 on 1 month credit. So point is, for this 2 lakh rupees, time of supply will be according to normal subsection, that is subsection 2. Correct? It is goods, so 12/2. Agreed? Okay. It is also specified in the invoice that if recipient fails to make payment within aforesaid 1 month, then interest at 2,000 shall be charged for every delay of 1 month or part thereof. K makes payment of 2 lakh on 22/11/2020. However, in respect of interest, he requests S for complete waiver, but S agrees for waiving only 50% of 2,000. So can you tell me, for that 1,000 rupees, which is paid on 30/11/2020, what is the time of supply? So it is 30/11/2020, that is the date of payment. And what is the value of supply? Value of supply totally is 2,01,000. Agreed. But for 2 lakh, the time of supply is 1/10/2020 according to 12/2, and for this 1,000 it is 30/11/2020 according to 12/6. Agreed? Yes, no? Please let me know in the chat window. Wonderful, wonderful. Let's now go to subsection 2. Okay. Subsection 2 of both the sections. First, dealing with subsection 2 of section 12. Forward charge mechanism in case of goods. Can you see this? Forward charge mechanism in case of goods. It is date of issue of invoice. So you have to check, very simple, when is the invoice issued, okay, or the last date, that is the due date of issue of such invoice as per section 31. Obviously whichever is earlier. Agreed? So it's as simple. Don't at all check when is the payment received. Okay, don't check that in case of goods. So what is that last date when invoice should have been issued? There are different cases. If supply involves movement of goods, then at that time when the goods are removed. If supply does not involve movement goods, then when the goods are made available to the recipient. Clear? So of course it's a part of your documents topic. So if you go to documents, it can be easily revised. Check. Go to documents part. Can you see tax invoice? In tax invoice, goods, when to issue? A, supply involves movement of goods. Can you see this part? Here? Yes. At or before time of removal of goods for delivery. No movement of goods is involved. At time of making goods available to the recipient or at time of delivery. And in case of continuous supply of goods, okay, that is also one unique case, continuous supply of goods. Okay, so at time of issue of periodic statement or at the time of receipt of payment. And when goods are sent on approval basis, we have learnt all these things in documents. When goods are sent on approval basis, then at the time when supply takes place, or 6 months from date of physically removing the goods, whichever is earlier. So at that point you should make invoice. Agreed? Let's go ahead. Let's do subsection 2 of section 13 now, and then see together examples of both. Services. Check. In services there are two possibilities. You are obedient or you are not obedient. Means whether you make invoice in 30 days or you don't make invoice in 30 days. Do you remember this? So if invoice is made within 30 days or in banking services 45 days, then time of supply is date of issue of invoice or the date of receipt of payment, whichever is obviously earlier. If invoice is not made within time, then government does not give importance to invoice. Then they say time of supply is date of provision of services, or date of receipt of payment. Agreed? In short, very simple, if invoice is made in time, then invoice gets importance. If invoice is not made in time, then what gets importance is date of provision of service. Whichever is the case, you have to compare that with date of receipt of payment. Agreed? And go for whichever is earlier. And how to understand date of receipt of payment? Date of receipt of payment will be date when that payment is entered in the books of supplier, or the date when it is credited in the bank. Agreed? Whichever is earlier. Sonal, getting it? Please pay attention. Understood, all of you? Okay. Let's see examples for both. Okay. Then go to proviso. See this. G, a chartered accountant, provides following details. Date of supply of services. It could be any service. It could be filing audit. It could be, filing some return. It could be signing audit report. Okay. It could be consultation. When is that supply complete? That supply is completed on 25th October 2020. Invoice is issued on 28th October 2020. So point is invoice issued within time? Yes, absolutely. Invoice is issued within time? Yes. So time of supply will become date of issue of invoice, that is 28/10/2020. But that will be compared with date of receipt of payment. Now what's the date of receipt of payment? It is either 7 November or 6 November, whichever is earlier. So it's going to be 6 November. So finally, time of supply is going to be when that amount is received or when the invoice is issued, whichever is earlier. So it's going to be 28/10/2020. Okay, obviously every answer's presentation is given to you in that Excel file solution. So even if you are listening to the lectures for the first time, you have opportunity of going and checking how presentation is done. Okay, now 9th, SBI provides following details. When I talk about bank, then 45 days criteria comes into picture. Yes, very good. Date of supply of services 25/10, but date of issue of invoices 30/11. Is it within time? Absolutely yes, it is within time. So give importance to invoice. So time of supply will be date of issue of invoice or date of receipt of payment, whichever is earlier. So here it becomes 28/10/2020. Okay. Then one more illustration. As a company secretary provides following details. Date of provision of service is 15th October 2020. Date of issue of invoice is 18/11/2020. So what do you see here predominantly? Invoice is not issued within time. Can you see? 30 days was the time limit. It's not issued within time. So what should be the time of supply? It should be date of provision of service or date of receipt of payment, because in services cases government said yes, payment does matter. So it is in this case date of provision of service 15 October and date of receipt of payment 24th November, whichever is earlier. So answer would be 15th October 2020. So I hope that you are easily able to connect to these provisions. Yes, wonderful. Check. There is a proviso here. What proviso says? Okay, this proviso is only in case of 13.2. It is not in case of 12.2. Means it is there, but it is immaterial. Because this proviso is for advance. And in goods, advance itself doesn't matter. Okay, let's check. What is the proviso saying? Amount received in advance is up to ₹1,000 against an invoice. Okay. Then what to do? Then don't consider, don't immediately take this as time of supply, the date of receipt of payment. Okay. Then time of supply for the excess amount shall be date of issue of invoice in respect of such excess amount. This is optional for supplier. See what? Here itself I have given you example. So what I have tried to do in this tables and charts is, for a critical point, which I feel for a student is a critical point, because I know no loopholes. When I am teaching 100 out of 100, 90 students will face doubt in some point. This is one of that point where doubt is faced. I get once more for this. Means always after explaining, people say once again explain. Okay, I don't know, teacher getting a once more is good or bad, but there are some points where again and again we keep on getting doubts. So this is one of that point. And when we do input tax credit, I will tell you there are some points in ITC as well. Okay, so yes, there are some such points in valuation also, the subsidies point. Yes, so there are such points, which students find bit confusing unnecessarily. So what I have done is I have put a small example here. Hope you connect with this example. Mr. X pays Airtel Telecom bill 5,000. Okay, against bill amount of 4,750. So as Airtel, I had issued a bill of 4,750. But how much did you pay? You paid me 5,000. Okay. In short, you paid me extra. You paid me extra how much? You paid me extra rupees 250. That extra will be adjusted in next month's bill. Okay, means if your next month's bill is 6,000, then I will not give you bill of 6,000. I will say 6,000 less adjusted 250. So net due 5750. Isn't it? In short, you have paid me advance of 250, and that is for next month. So government says, as a Airtel, I don't have to take tension, immediately pay GST on 250, no need. How much is the bill amount? 4750. Better, at my option, I can pay GST in this month on 4750. When will I pay GST? On balance 250. On balance 250, at my option, I can pay GST. I can declare its time of supply at the date of issue of subsequent invoice in which such advance will be adjusted. Clear? So supplier should not unnecessarily take tension of such small advances. And what is the limit of that small? Limit of that small is rupees 1,000. If against bill of 4750 you pay 7,000, that means it's your intention to pay advance, then immediately I should pay GST on that advance. But if it's a small advance, I can neglect. Neglect in the sense, pay GST on that in the next billing cycle. Agreed? So read here. Here time of supply for 250 at option of Bharti Airtel shall be 1st December, that is the next billing cycle. In short, no obligation to pay tax or declare time of supply on advance of 250 immediately on receipt basis. That's why it's an proviso. This gives convenience to supplier in case of such petty advances against invoices. Did you get the point? So now, not covering a special example on the proviso, already we covered, you understood it, and not covering special example on 12.2. In 12.2, what will you do? Date of issue of invoice or date when invoice should have been issued, whichever is earlier, as simple as that. Okay, so can we go ahead to subsection 3 now? What is subsection 3 for? Subsection 3 is for time of supply in case of reverse charge mechanism. When it is for goods, it is 12.3. When it is for services, it is 13.3. Okay, let's learn it. Let's read it. What happens in case of reverse charge mechanism for goods? It is date of receipt of goods. So basically we are talking about recipient of supply liable to pay GST in certain cases. Okay. So date of when he receives the goods, that date of making payment, or date immediately following 30 days from the date of invoice. Agreed? Of course, whichever is earlier. And in case of services, mind you, in case of services, you cannot ascertain date of receipt of service. Even if you can ascertain, don't ascertain it. It's going to be date of making payment or 61st day from the date of issue of invoice. So in short, it will be date immediately following 60 days from the date of issue of invoice. Agreed? Out of these two, whichever is earlier. Understood? And how to identify date of making payment? So the date of entry of payment in the books of accounts of recipient of supply. Dekho, for who has to decide time of supply? Entry in their books. Okay, so in forward charge it was date of receipt of payment, so it was for supplier. So date of entry of books in supplier in that case. Here in books of recipient of supply, or the date when his bank account gets debit. He is making payment, so his bank account will get debit. So whichever is obviously earlier. That's it. This completes our 13.3. See, it is 30 days from the date of invoice. Okay. So question here, one of the student is asking is, in this 31 days, should we include the date of invoice or should we exclude it? So I will tell you, the day immediately following 30 days from the date of invoice, that is the sentence, and the date immediately following 60 days from the date of invoice in case of services. That means from invoice 31st day and from invoice 61st day. So please exclude that day. Okay, so suppose 27 November 22, that is today's date, invoice is received. Then what will you do? Exclude 27, start calculating from tomorrow. So 28 will be first day, 29 will be second day, 30 will be third day, 27th December will be 30th day, and 28th December will be the day immediately following 30 days. That is the 31st day from the date of invoice. I hope, Karthik, I have solved it out. Very good. Wonderful. Let's see examples and then remind me, we will go to proviso of this. Very simple question. See this third question on page 50. K, a registered person, supplied certain goods to G, also a registered person. Till this point, friends, it is, we can't say which mechanism it is. Usually it's a forward charge, as you all know. But it's specifically given here that tax in respect of aforesaid goods is liable to be paid on reverse charge basis. That's why reverse charge mechanism. Did you understand? So now please tell me time of supply in this case for G. So when is G receiving the goods? G is receiving the goods on 26/11. When is G making the payment? Payment is made and entered in the books on 22/12. Then afterwards it is debited in the bank. So of course you have to take 22/12 as date of making payment. And finally, what about 31st day from the date of invoice? Invoice was on 20 November 2020. So you have to leave 10 days of November, then 20 days of December, leave it. Finally 21st of December will become time of will become 31st day from the date of invoice. Do you agree? So friends, tell me finally what is your time of supply in this case. Earliest is 26/11, so 26/11 will become time of supply. Agreed? What would be answer in the above case if goods are received by G on 26/12/2020 instead of 26/11/2020? Then what will happen, you know? Then date of payment will become 21/12, date of receipt of goods is 26/12, and date of 31st day from date of invoice is 21/12. So 21/12 will turn out to be earliest. Okay, nothing, you have to just jot down those 3 dates, whichever is earlier that you are getting. So government has framed it very logically that let it be date of receiving the goods, date of making payment, or let them calculate 31st day from the date of invoice. Go to services part and go to 12th question. We'll do 12th as well as 13th. Okay. See 12th question. Mrs. K receives services from non-taxable territory, in respect of which tax is liable to be paid on reverse charge basis. Further, she provides following information. Date of payment as entered in her books. What's the date of payment as entered in her books? 23/10. Date of payment debited, date on which payment is debited in bank account is 1/11. So you know date of making payment turns out to be 23/10, isn't it? It turns out to be 23/10. And calculate 61st day from 1st October 2020. So October's 30 days, November's 30 days, and 1st December will be 61st day. So time of supply will be 23rd October 2020. Do you agree? Yes. In short, what logic government has used? They have said that if that recipient of supply makes payment in 60 days from date of invoice, then let it be date of making payment. But if they don't make payment in 60 days also, then let 61st day be the time of supply. Okay. Anyways, all these logics I have explained to you in the main batch. Determine time of supply from information given below, assuming service being supplied is taxable under reverse charge. Supplier of service issues invoice for service provided on 4th September, but payment is made to the supplier as entered in the books of accounts on 2012, and date on which payment is debited in bank account is 22/12. So what's the date of making payment? It is 20 December 2020. Okay, and which will be 61st day from the date of invoice. So from 4th September you calculate 61st day. So 26 days of September gone. October 31 days gone. So we reach to 57 as we are reaching to 31st October. We need 3 days of November, which makes it 60. 61st is 4th November. So 4th November is earlier than 20 December. So 4th November, mind you friends, becomes time of supply. Agreed? Yes, no? All 23 of you watching live, did you understand? Very good. Now, there is a proviso to this. Once we complete this proviso, our whole of section 12 and 13 will be done. Okay, let's see proviso in 13.3. What happens? It becomes difficult in cases where there is an import of service from own entity, means associated entity. Okay, see here in the diagram, supplier is located outside India and that is an associated entity to this recipient of supply. So you know friends, in this case, saying 61st day from date of invoice is very useless, is not fruitful, because date of invoice can be manipulated. Date of invoice can be manipulated. So what government says, that let time of supply be date of entry in the books of accounts of recipient of supply. Date of entry means date when the expenses are entered in the books of accounts of recipient of supply in India, or date of making payment by that recipient of supply, whichever is earlier. Agreed? In short, 61st day from date of invoice is deleted and that is replaced by date of making entry in the books of accounts of recipient of supply. Agreed? Yes, no? Okay, good. Let's see example based on this. 14th example. K Limited, a US company, issues an email informing its associated company ABC Limited about cost of technical services provided to it. That email is sent on 4th August 2020. It's immaterial. ABC Limited, that is the recipient of supply, transfers the amount to the account of US company, that is supplier, on 3rd October 2020. Does it matter? Yes, it matters. And there is no entry yet in the books of accounts of ABC Limited. So what's the time of supply? It has to become 3rd October. Very good. So did you get, all of you get it? Got it? Very good. Last section of time of supply that we have to revise is section 14. Okay, section 14 is when there is change in rate of GST. Can you see this? When there is change in rate of GST. Okay, so what we have done, so by the way, that 14 is applicable to both goods as well as services. What we have done, we have divided it in two categories: supplies before change in rate of tax, supplies after change in rate of tax. If supply is before change in rate of tax, then there are three possibilities. Okay, see the first possibility. Matlab, when is supply taking place? Before change. In that, invoice is issued after change, payment is also received after change. In short, do you agree that majority of the things are happening after change? So time of supply will be earlier of above 2. In short, effectively there will be new rate that will apply. Second case, invoice is issued before. Do you see supply is also before? Payment is after. Now majority is where? Majority is before. So time of supply is date of issue of invoice. Okay, so earlier rate will apply. And lastly, invoice is issued after, payment is received before. Got it? So now, don't you think majority is for before? So time of supply will be date of receipt of payment. So old rate will apply. Agreed? Then when supply is after, then there are of course three cases in that. In that, if invoice is before and payment received is after, see majority is after. So time of supply will be after. Therefore date of receipt of payment. If invoice is issued before, payment is also received before, but only supply of services, goods or services after, then obviously you can see majority is of before. So whichever is earlier, so of course old rate will apply. And finally, invoice is issued afterwards, payment is received before. Now what is majority? Majority is of after. So time of supply will be date of issue of invoice, and thus new rate will apply. Okay, so very probable that they can ask you question on section 14. One very important note is there. In this case, as you know, date of receipt of payment shall be compulsorily date of credit in bank account. If such credit in bank account is after 4 working days from date of change in rate of tax. Okay, what you have to do? You have to trust on date of credit in the bank. See, manipulate. What can be manipulated? Your books can be manipulated, or bank statement can be manipulated. Books, very good. Books can be easily manipulated. So government says, don't take your date in the books. Please take date of credit in the bank. But when that suspicion arises if it is after 4 working days from date of change in rate of tax. Why so? With this example it will get clarified. Such suspicion, why that suspicion can come up. So there are 2 examples of section 14. Go to the example. you will understand why that suspicion can come up. See this. I will just zoom it. Is it visible, the question? Or I have sent you also the Excel file. In that Excel file, you can open section 11, time of supply. Check. A service provider supplied service on 1/12/2020 for 25 lakhs. He issued invoice for the same on 30/11/2020. Okay. So see, date of supply is 1/12/2020. Invoice is issued on 30/11/2020 and received payment by account paid check on 30/11/2020, and it was entered in the books on the same date, that is 30/11/2020. Check was deposited in bank on 4/12/2020 and it was credited to bank account on 9/12/2020. Okay, this everything will get immaterial unless you understand that when did the rate of GST change. The service was taxable at 5% prior to 1st December 2020. Okay, the rate of GST has been increased to 12% with effect from 1/12/2020. So what is the date of change in rate of tax? What's the date from which there is a change in percentage of tax? That date, friends, is 1/12/2020. Very good, Priya. 1/12/2020. So can you please now tell me, have you issued invoice before or after? You have issued invoice before. Wonderful. Invoice you issued before. When have you supplied the service? When have you supplied the service? After. Very good. And what will be your date of payment in this case? They are saying that it was entered in the books on 30/11, but it was credited in bank on 9/12. So it is so sure here that date in books is manipulated. You don't have to write such things in exam, but it's manipulated because I wanted to go in 5%. So it's manipulated by saying 30/11, but it is getting credited when? On 9th of December. So it is after 4 working days from the date of change. So for sure it is after. So it is what? It is 9/12. So what is your time of supply? Your time of supply becomes 9/12. So what will be the applicable rate of GST? Applicable rate of GST will be the changed one, which is 12%. Got it? Such type of thing can't happen in normal 12 and 13. So in normal 12 and 13, it is date of entry in the books or date of credit in bank, whichever is earlier. But when there is change in rate of tax, then you have to understand that such type of explanation will apply. Agreed? 4 working days explanation will apply. Very good. See the second question now. It's a normal one. See, Mr. X buys a motor car from a car dealer. He has made payment for the same and the car dealer has issued an invoice in respect of the same on 25/11/2020. The car was to be delivered on 1/12/2020 on occasion of his birthday. On 26/11/2020, the rate of GST applicable to motor car was revised upwards and the car dealer is demanding the amount of differential tax. Is it correct? No. Very good, Sonal. No, he is not correct. Why he is not correct? If you observe here, the date of change in rate of tax is 26/11. Yes. Very good. It's 26/11. When has he made the payment? 25/11. And when is the invoice issued? 25/11. So majority of the things take place before the change in rate of tax. So time of supply will be what? Old rate. Very good. So effectively it will be date of issue of invoice or date of receipt of payment, whichever is earlier. Correct? So old rate continues to apply and the car dealer is not correct in demanding differential duty. Do you agree with me? Yes. Have you understood? Wonderful, wonderful. So just absorb section 12, 13, 14. I think your 5 marks will be assured. Okay, they will either ask you from 12, 13 or 14. They have to ask one question from time of supply. So let's see in this revision batch how many marks you have covered till now. If I talk about valuation, being positive, 10 marks would be asked from that, and being conservative, 5 marks would be asked from that. Let's assume conservative, 5 marks from valuation. After valuation, next day we did exemptions and scope of supply. Say 10 marks is asked from that. So 5 plus 10, 15. Yesterday I had uploaded place of supply. I hope all of you have watched place of supply. How many of you watched? Very good. Ketki is saying yes. What about others? Wonderful. Murasa is saying yes. Anand is saying yes. Atmaja is saying yes. Sushma, Priya, Pratiksha. Very sincere of you. Nice. Wonderful. Swati. Sonal, no? Watch it. Watch it today compulsorily. Okay. So 5 will be covered from that. So 20. And today's time of supply 5. 25. See, such a big deal in your exams that 25 marks are covered like this. Straightforward. Okay. Make all these things which we are taking up, make this a strong point. Let's go to registration. Without taking break, can we go to registration? Time of supply was so straightforward. Okay. Don't leave the meeting. Just give me 2 minutes. I'll take a glass of water and come back. I'll just have sip of water and come back. Okay. Don't leave the meeting. Be there. After this registration, we will take break. And for composition levy, we will do session 12. Okay. Friends, shall we start back? Yes, see, registration. You know the section numbers which deal with it, starting from 22 to 30. So you have seen that we covered 25 marks in till now. Registration when gets covered, you can add another 5 marks in that, and when composition levy gets covered, you can add another 5 in that, so which will take the tally to 40. And when ITC is done, you can add another 10 to that, so tally will go to 50. And already earlier 8 sessions we had covered, 1 to 8, that covers balance 10 to 15 marks. The whole GST is covered well in revision batch. See, so 22 to 30, as you know, 22 is persons liable for registration. Okay, 24 is cases where registration is compulsory. So 22 and 24 are to be learned mandatory, learned together. 23 cases where registration is not required, or you can say persons exempted from obtaining registration. Then procedure for registration 25, 26 deemed registration. Reading 27 makes you understand special provisions for CTP and RTP. 28, 29, 30 is procedures with respect to amendment in registration for 28, cancellation 29, and revocation of cancellation 30. Okay, let's do very important section 22. I am going to tell you some critical points also in 22. Pay attention. Who is liable to obtain registration? Can you see this? Who is liable to obtain registration, or persons required to mandatorily get registered? Yes, 22 and 24. Okay, see, first case is most important based on aggregate turnover. Okay, these are threshold limits given. We have divided this in 3 categories. Okay, 40 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 10 lakhs. You know 40 lakhs is a threshold limit applicable when I am dealing only and only in goods. You are aware of that? Yes. Only in goods, but in states other than 10 states, SAMPUT and MMNT. Why SAMPUT? Because in SAMPUT you will see limit is 20 lakhs, and in MMNT you will see limit is 10 lakhs. Yes, very good. Now one more point you should keep in mind, that when I talk about supplier of ice cream, pan masala, and tobacco substitutes, then for them limit of 40 lakhs is not applicable. For them, you know, limit of 20 lakhs or 10 lakhs as the case may be will apply. Okay, so Pratiksha, I would like to tell you, don't directly jump to 10 lakhs limit for them. It will be 20 lakhs if they are other than in MMNT states. Okay, in short, dealer of ice cream in MMNT state, yes, 10 lakhs, but dealer of ice cream in Maharashtra, 20 lakhs. Agreed? Yes, wonderful, wonderful. Let's go ahead. Now 20 lakhs is applicable when? 20 lakhs is applicable when he is engaged in goods plus services in any state, or only services, obviously. Of course, other than MMNT, because in MMNT limit of 10 lakhs will apply, isn't it? Yes. Okay. Now, even if I am supplying only and only goods, but I am in following 6 states. Which 6 states? SAMPUT. Then what's the limit? Then limit is 20 lakhs. Which are those 6 states? Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, Meghalaya, Puducherry, Uttarakhand, Telangana. Check. Agreed? And 10 lakhs is the limit when I'm dealing in, when I'm a supplier of goods or services or both in any of the 4 states. Which 4 states? Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland and Tripura. Agreed? And aggregate turnover definition is as per section 2 subsection 6. Further, registration is required only in those states where supplies of taxable goods. Agreed, na? Okay. And where one of the units, means one of the unit under the same PAN is in one of the state of SAMPUT or MMNT, then automatically lower threshold limit will apply to all units having same PAN. You remember this, na? My one unit is in Maharashtra, another is in Sikkim. Then for my entire units under my PAN, the threshold limit will be 20 lakhs. Yes, very good. And lastly, in aggregate turnover, you have to include even interest on FD. Specifically, I've put this point here so that you don't get jumbled up with aggregate turnover of composition levy. In composition levy, you have to exclude interest on FD and loans and advances. But here you have to include. Clear, na? Is it clear for all of you? Can we go ahead? Yes. Then, friends, in case of transfer of business, so threshold limit criteria is over. Now, second criteria where registration is compulsorily required is a simple one. If there is a transfer of business of taxable person, then what happens? The transferee, that means the one who is taking the business, should get himself registered. Then transferee is liable to be registered in case of amalgamation or demerger by order of High Court. And registration requirement, now registration requirement irrespective of turnover. Where is it given? Section 24. Students many a time ask me this question, what exactly is this first point? Friends, I would like to tell you, as soon as there is interstate supply, as soon as there is any interstate supply, registration is compulsory, irrespective of my turnover. Okay, means I just started business of selling goods. First order I got from Karnataka and I am from Maharashtra. Should I take GST registration? Answer is yes, because I will be doing interstate supply. Wonderful, very good answer. But even though they have said interstate taxable supply, government is kind enough to release one notification and give exemption from registration in this category for services. Means, same example, I just started business, I got that business is of providing service. My first client will be from Tamil Nadu. It's a service business, it's a business of providing service. Should I get registered immediately? Answer is no. Absolutely correct. Very good. So my point you have got. Second, who should get registered? CTP, casual taxable person. Then person liable to pay tax on a reverse charge basis. Okay, why so? Because recipient of supply is liable to pay tax, no? So how he will pay tax? By getting himself registered. ECOs who are required to pay tax under 9(5), NRTPs, persons required to do TDS. You can recollect these points. Agent, in principal agent relation, then every e-commerce operator who is required to collect tax at source, and every person who is supplying OIDAR service from place outside India. I have shown you example here. Observe this example. There is a company called as Zoom whose services we are using. I gave you this example yesterday or day before yesterday when we were talking about section 7 subsection 1 clause B, import of services. I said they are taxable. Correct? So they are taxable means they fall in scope of supply. If they fall in scope of supply, then do you expect every recipient of supply to get registered in India? Maybe recipient of supply is a person like you and me who are taking services of Amazon Prime to watch that India New Zealand match. So lakhs of people will not get registered. Better, who should get registered? Amazon should get registered. In this example, Zoom Inc. should get registered. Agreed? So for such person, registration is mandatory. Agreed? Did you all understand? Yes, very good. ये understand पूछने की habit नहीं जाएगी मेरी. It's revision batch. I should not ask you, did you understand? Could you recollect? Yes. See, a teacher once is a teacher always. I feel that. When we are given time limit of 2 minutes to speak, we as teachers will speak for 20 minutes only. So we don't have any, we don't need any platform and we don't have any limitation. We can just go on speaking. Okay. See, suppliers supplying goods through ECO. So now we are talking about that supplier getting himself registered. Okay, what example I had told you? You are selling some imitation jewelry. Check. I have shown that example here. Mr. A is supplier of imitation jewelry. He is selling the goods via Amazon. Correct? For Amazon, so obviously registration is mandatory. But not only for Amazon, also for this Mr. A, registration is mandatory irrespective of turnover. So what you will do in exams, you will read the given question very carefully. You answer, you will get the answer from somewhere what we have done. Okay, only thing is with some patience you have to read the whole case. Okay. Then of course the one who is liable to pay GST under 9(5), they should get themselves registered. Means e-commerce operators. I have given you example here. This Ola will be liable for getting registration in GST irrespective of turnover. And for cab driver, no need to obtain registration. And finally, do you remember input service distributor? The one, this LG head office in this example. This LG head office is a ISD, input service distributor, who is getting a service from advertising agency, but that service is not for its own benefit. It is for benefit of this other units having same PAN. So this HO is called as ISD. And so who will claim ITC? Obviously factories will claim ITC, but Who will distribute the ITC? This ISD. So for distributing that ITC, they should obtain registration. Agreed? Yes. That's it. This is what I wanted to revise. I also want to revise actually this what? CTP and RTP. Wait, I have revised it somewhere. In 22 and 24, this is what all I wanted to revise. We'll do one thing. First do questions on 22 and 24. Then go to 25, some important points in 25. Okay. Let's see. So I have given you examples of this category. So not again reading those examples. You can go through CTP and RTP provisions. You can go through TDS example. Okay, TDS example also is given in detail. Okay, see this. Karmavir of Mizoram is exclusively engaged in intrastate supply of toys. Means we are talking about goods. Its aggregate turnover in the current financial year is 15 lakhs. Is he liable to obtain registration? For Mizoram, what is the threshold limit? 10 lakhs. Absolutely. So he will be liable to get registration. Pratiksha. 10 lakhs. So yes. MMNT na? Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland, Tripura. So don't just keep that MMNT in theory. Apply it. Yes. So registration will be compulsory. Read it properly. Solution. What if that Karamveer is engaged only in supply of services? Then also of course he is liable to get registered. If he engaged in supply of goods and services, of course yes, everywhere the threshold limit is what? Everywhere the threshold limit is only rupees 10 lakhs. Yes, very good. Now see, Ramesh of Assam is exclusively engaged in intrastate supply of footwear. Its turnover in the current FY from Assam showroom is 28 lakhs. It has another showroom in Tripura with turnover of 11 lakhs. In the current FY, is he liable to get registered under GST? Now, understand Assam means it neither falls in MMNT nor it falls in SAMPUT. SAMPUT, what is A there? A there stands for Arunachal Pradesh, isn't it? So basically, check, 39 lakhs is the total turnover here, but you know okay, A is what? is Arunachal Pradesh. So अच्छा अच्छा, it is another showroom in Tripura. Huh. So SMPUT and not that T, this MMNT, he falls in 10 lakhs. So total turnover is 28 plus 11, 39 lakhs. So of course registration will be required because it crosses 10 lakhs. Agreed, na? Tripura is a what? It falling in category of MMNT. That's why threshold limit goes down to 10 lakhs. Agreed, all of you? Yes, no? Yes. Good. Then see this. Gopal Das and company Kolkata is manufacturer and is registered supplier under regular scheme. It furnishes following details for the tax period ended 31st March 21. Okay, you have to compute just aggregate turnover. That's it. You have to just compute aggregate turnover. Now, will you include intrastate supply of goods? Of course, yes, but including GST or excluding GST? Aggregate turnover is specifically defined to mean intrastate supply, interstate supply, exports, everything, even exempt supply, but specifically excludes GST. Okay, so please subtract, 70 lakh 80,000 will be equal to 118. So can you please calculate what is 100 in that case? So you will have to do 70 lakh 80,000, yes, into 100 divided by 118. Are you getting 60 lakhs? So take that 60 lakhs, then take exported goods 32 lakhs. Are you supposed to take inward supply? No, don't take inward supply on which GST is payable on reverse charge mechanism. Will you take transfer of goods to branch at Delhi? You are in Kolkata and it's transferred in Delhi. So yes, because this is also treated as supply. We have seen in scope of supply that transfer to supply to distinct person is treated as supply. So yes, schedule 1, very good. So include it and tell me what is your assessable, not assessable value, what is your aggregate turnover? 1 crore 42 lakhs. Understood? So please don't make silly mistakes. Apply fully logically, okay? Supply includes supply between related persons and distinct persons. So branch at Delhi will become distinct person. So obviously yes, that's a supply. So that supply should also be included. Got a point? Wonderful, wonderful. Good. So I think you will be able to now sort issues of what? Section 22 and 24. Can you please explain the concept of one entity supplying goods and another entity in non-taxable supply? With which reference you are saying so? May I know with which reference exactly you are saying so? I thought so. Alcohol's example, no? Yes, that question only now I'm searching. Nothing like if I find that example. Where is that question? Alcohol's question. Where is the alcohol's question? With question it would have been better to explain you. No. I mean, is it there or is it in notebook? That's what I wanted to ask. It was from CA module. Uday's question. Okay. So I have not taken it here somehow. You have it, Ketki, or you will tell me where it is. Illustration 5. Okay. In the CA module. So I've made it right to you in the notebook. Okay. But I have not typed it. Okay. But I have made you right. Acha, that is the issue. Fine. Okay. So do one thing now. Put it on the group someone. Take the photo of that Uday's question. It's a really nice question. And put it on the WhatsApp group. Tell me once you do that. Okay, let me know, huh? Once you put it. So I will uh, take very properly the photo. So I will display it on WhatsApp here. So every revision batch student also should do that question, okay? Is it sent? No, it will be. Who is sending it? Ketki, you are sending it? Okay. I'll put it on drive also later. You know what happens? Immediately I should organize afterwards. Otherwise it's a big problem. In the notes, I will take registration extra question, page 1. See, how many pages are there? 4 pages. Okay. Small question, 4 pages. You are sending me Uday's question only, na? Okay. Acha, which solution she is sending? That's why it is 4 pages. Pratiksha got it. Okay, I am only confused now. Uh, which page number? What is happening? I am only a bit confused. Acha. Uh, Fine. Let's see. At least, if right now, without wasting much time, if I can explain you the question and its solution, and later on I can organize the solution part of it. Oh, this is one more issue, that this is not opening somehow. Fine. All types of issues. No worries. Go to the question. Let's read the question. You have it in front of you. Okay, individually open that question. Uday Enterprises question. Somehow these files are not opening with me. I don't know why. Achha, I can select one. I can do one thing. Open with something, I can say. Suppose snipping. Great. See this. Uday Enterprises is engaged in supply of taxable goods in Maharashtra. It also supplies alcoholic liquor for human consumption from Nagaland. Okay. Its turnover in the current financial year, is 34 lakhs in Maharashtra and 8 lakhs in Nagaland. Huh. That's what I said, that I got confused. Okay, because I could see that other solution also. Okay, so see, okay. Anyways, no problem. Uday Enterprises is engaged in supply of taxable goods. You understood, no? In Maharashtra. It also supplies alcoholic liquor from Nagaland. So, in short, prima facie it seems that it is operating in one of the special category states, Nagaland, MMNT. So, prima facie it seems that limit should go down to 10 lakhs. Its turnover in the current financial year is 34 lakhs in Maharashtra and 8 lakhs in Nagaland. Okay, now what happens? Tell me. What is the aggregate turnover if you calculate? If you calculate, the aggregate turnover is 34 lakhs plus 8 lakhs. 42 lakhs. Exactly. But, so 42 lakhs, there is no confusion. Because aggregate turnover's definition includes exempt supply also. And exempt supply includes non-taxable supply also. So 34 plus 8, 42 lakhs will be aggregate turnover. There is no doubt regarding that. Doubt could be this, whether to consider threshold limit of 10 lakhs or 40 lakhs. The answer is consider threshold limit of 40 lakhs. Why 40 lakhs? Because he is engaged in only and only non-taxable supply from that special category state. So threshold limit will not go down to 10 lakhs. Threshold limit will continue to be 42 lakhs. Means 40 lakhs. Agreed? So registration is mandatory. But very important point, registration is mandatory only in Maharashtra, not mandatory in Nagaland. Because in Nagaland, what is being supplied? In Nagaland, there is a supply of only and only non-taxable goods. That's the point. I hope all of you have got it. Swati, Did you understand? Yes, very good. Check this. Since Uday Enterprises is exclusively engaged in making taxable supply of goods from Maharashtra, the applicable threshold limit for obtaining registration is 40 lakhs. Further, the threshold limit will not be reduced to 10 lakhs. In this case, as supply of alcoholic liquor for human consumption from Nagaland, that is one of the special category states, are non-taxable supplies. In the given case, since the aggregate turnover of Uday Enterprises exceeds applicable threshold limit of 40 lakhs, it is liable to obtain registration. It will obtain registration in Maharashtra, but not required to obtain registration in Nagaland, as is not making any taxable supply from the said state. Got it, friends? Simple solution, simple problem, right? I think this I can delete. It was only one page. Okay, just one page, right? So I will just delete this to avoid the confusion, and I will upload this on the notes, Google Drive. Okay, so no confusion for even the revision batch students. So all revision batch students, did you understand this? Especially those doing only revision. Priya, did you understand? Yes, very good. Good, wonderful. Chalo, let's go ahead, friends. Enough time we dedicated to this. Let me close the WhatsApp. Yes, leave the WhatsApp. Yes, don't want WhatsApp. Good. Then, so I think 22, 24 is very much clear. 25 is procedure, but in that procedure, I would like you to take to one point, that is effective date of registration. Okay. Do you understand the concept of effective date of registration? Okay. That starts with, when should I get registered? When am I liable for getting registered? I am liable for getting registered within 30 days from the date of becoming liable, isn't it? Yes or no? Yes. So, what is effective date of registration check? If you are making application within 30 days of becoming liable for registration, if you are making application within 30 days of becoming liable for registration, then date on which you become liable for registration. And if you are making application after 30 days, then the date when you get the registration certificate. This is a very important concept. Okay, so keep that concept also in mind. Okay, other things you can understand. Now I will just quickly take you through points of CTP and NRTP. Okay, do you understand who is casual taxable person? He is that person who need not, yes, who does not actually have fixed place of business, who does not have fixed place of business in particular state where he is occasionally carrying out business. That person is casual taxable person. He carries out business occasionally in a state where he does not have fixed place of business. That is casual taxable person. Such casual taxable person should obtain registration at least 5 days before commencement of business in that particular state. Okay. And who is non-resident taxable person? They are carrying out business in a taxable territory but does not have any fixed place of business in taxable territory. And again, occasionally only they are carrying out the business. Agreed? Same provisions for NRTP also. one example you want of CTP? There is via an exhibition in the state of Kerala. Acha, NRTP. Same example. There is exhibition in state of Kerala and a France-based company takes part in this exhibition. So they are going to set up their stall and sell goods to walk-in customers. Now tell me, does this France-based company have registration in India? Assume they don't have any fixed place of business in India, but they are participating in this exhibition. So that exhibition is of 10 days, 15 days. So they will have to obtain registration in India in the status of NRTP. Got it? Priya, got it? Yes. And what happens? The maximum number of days for which this registration certificate is granted is 90 days. If required, an extension may be taken for further period not extending 90 days. Okay. And they need to pay GST in advance. CTP as well as NRTP need to pay GST in advance. Agreed? And at the end, whatever GST remains there in the account, that can be refunded on estimated days. Initially they will pay in advance. These are the provisions of CTP, NRTP. One of the favorite question of examiner. Okay. Also know about this unique identity number. Okay, so I think this much is sufficient in topic of registration as far as provisions are concerned. I am interested in doing one more question, because with questions only you will mature. See this question. We will do this question and then end this session number 11. Okay. This another question which is there, that is also a wonderful question. You can read that as well. Okay. That intrastate goods, it's on row number 571. Intrastate goods chargeable with GST at 5% is 15,51,000. Wholly exempt is 5 lakh. Intrastate supply of goods chargeable with nil GST rate is 18,50,000. And intrastate supply of goods chargeable to 18% GST is 50,000. And interest received from FD made with Bank of Rajasthan is 1 lakh. Question is, what is the aggregate turnover? Tell me. What is the aggregate turnover, and will this entity require registration? Will this entity require registration under GST? If you check the total here, it's coming to, first of all, we should include each and everything here. That's very important to understand. I had told you one point at the beginning, that interest on FD and interest on deposits will be included while calculating aggregate turnover for purpose of registration. So yes, include it. It is 40,51,000. Now tell me whether registration is required in the state of Rajasthan for this particular supplier. Obviously answer is yes. Why answer is yes? Because threshold limit, when I talk about goods in Rajasthan, threshold limit is 40 lakhs. Agreed? Wonderful, wonderful. Very good. And by the way, one more point I want to tell you. Why are we checking threshold limit of 40 lakhs here, and why not 20 lakhs? Actually, this is a consideration for service. But very special point, see this. Here the entity will be considered to be engaged exclusively in supply of goods, even if it is engaged in exempt supply of services provided by extending deposits, loans, advances. Okay, in short, only because of interest element on FD, they will not become supplier of service. Clear? Yes. Anand, yes, got it. Why exclusively goods? Even though there is one service, it's not to be considered here as a service. For threshold limit, the threshold limit will continue to be 40 lakhs. Check. Aggregate turnover is 40 lakh 51 as we calculated. Okay, can you afterwards go through the solution in detail? Yes. Now see this one more beautiful question. You know that when registration is not required, it is not required if I am dealing only and only in supply of exempted goods, or only in supply of non-taxable goods, non-taxable services, exclusively in exempted goods, exclusively in exempted services, then not required. Okay, now comes a wonderful question, but this question you will be understanding only one part today. ITC part we will understand after revision of ITC. See, LMN Private Limited, Coimbatore, exclusively manufactures and sells product X, which is exempt from GST. So are you required to register as of now? No. The company sells X only within Tamil Nadu. The turnover of company in previous year was 45 lakhs. Company expects the sales to grow by 30% in the current year. Company purchased additional machine for manufacturing X on so and so date. Purchase price of capital goods was so and so. However, effective from 1/11/2020, exemption available on X was withdrawn. Means your goods, finished goods, have now become taxable, and they have become taxable at 12%. Turnover of the company for the half year ended 30 September was 45 lakhs. Will you need registration in GST for this company? Answer is absolutely yes. Because already, what's your turnover? Already your aggregate turnover is 45 lakhs. You were enjoying exemption from registration in GST because you were selling only exempted goods. But now you will stop enjoying that, because say 1 lakh rupees of sales you have done on 1st October. What does it mean? It means that your aggregate turnover is 46 lakhs and it includes 1 lakh of taxable supply. Means you are not engaged only in exempted supply. So your supply becomes, your status is that you will be person who will require to obtain registration. Agreed, na? In your aggregate turnover, even if 1 rupees of supply is of taxable goods and it exceeds the threshold limit, then of course registration is required. So you can go through the solution, of course, for the first part of this question. That means only this part. The next part relates to ITC. That, remind me, we will revise after revising ITC. Clear, friends? So I hope registration topic is revised well for all of you. As well as before this we revised time of supply. That is also revised well for all of you. Very good. Yes. So now it's say 5:55, say 6 o'clock, can we meet at 6:30? Yes. So at 6:30 when we meet, we will do composition levi. Okay, chalo, that's it. Thank you guys.